Die Verbkonjugation im Präsens. While nouns are capitalized in German, verbs are also written in lowercase, just like in English. The infinitive ends in en. This is how verbs are written in a dictionary. For example, gehen, which is to go in English, laufen, to walk, singen, to sing, tanzen, to dance, rennen, to run. Most German verbs are regular, and conjugating regular verbs is pretty easy. You just have to remember a few rules. When you remove en from the verb, what you have left is the verb stem, and that's what we will work with. When you look at the table, you can see that there are different personal pronouns. Ich, du, ACS, wir, ihr, sie. So in English, that would be I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. When you conjugate a verb because you use it with a specific person, then you have to add a specific ending to the verb stem. So for ich, I, it would be an E. For du, you, it would be ST. The examples are given to the right. The verb wohnen means to live. If I conjugate that with the first person singular, I would say ich wohne. Wohnen, if I remove the en, I have the verb stem wohn, W-O-H-N, left. But now I have to add an e because it's the first person singular. So my result would be ich wohne. For example, ich wohne in Kaiserslautern. Second person singular, if you remember, we said we have to add st, so the result would be du wohnst. Du wohnst in Rammstein. There are a few exceptions you will have to remember. If the verb stem ends on d or t, you will have to add an e before the st and t endings. So if you remember from the previous slide, that was the second and third person singular, du, like in du wohnst, and like in wohnt, and the second person plural was ihr wohnt. Now, if I have a verb that ends on d or t in the verb stem, like for example, the verb arbeiten, which means to work, arbeiten, if you remove en, you can see that we have a t left. Now, in that case, I have the verb stem ending on t. That's why we have to add an e. The result would then be du arbeitest, arbeitet. Another exception occurs if the verb stem ends on s, z, or scharfes S. You won't add a s in the second person plural anymore. For example, when we have the word tanzen, which means to dance, the ending of the verb stem is in a German z. So, because I already have a z, I don't have to add an s anymore. So my result would be in the second person plural, which is du. The result would be du tanzt, with only z and t, no s. It also applies, for example, to the verb Hisen, which basically is used if you want to tell someone your name, like ich heiße Sabrina. That means my name is Sabrina. So heißen, the verb stem ends on a what we call scharfes S, which basically stands for 2s. Also, in this case, my result would be du heißt, with just scharfes S und T no S in between. While the conjugation of irregular verbs is the topic for another video, I wanted to introduce two really important irregular verbs in the German language: haben, which means to have, and sein, which means to be. As you can see, they don't follow the conjugation rules of regular verbs. I recommend learning those conjugations by heart. As you can see, sein is pretty irregular, just like to be in English.